I'm Jolene Wynn, and this is the Porn Addict's Wife podcast, episode number 157, What to Do If You Just Found Out. I used to think of myself as the wife of a porn addict, but I do not think of myself that way anymore, and you don't have to either. In this podcast, I am going to teach you how to manage your mind and your emotions so that you can stop living your life around your husband's pornography addiction. I am going to teach you how to stop being the victim and how to conquer his pornography addiction, even if he never does. I'm Jolene Wynn. I am a certified life coach, and I am a member of the LDS faith and the wife of a former porn addict. And this is a podcast for the Porn Addict's Wife. Good morning, my ladies. How are you? I hope you guys had a great Mother's Day. Yesterday was Mother's Day, and it was beautiful. And I did a podcast episode earlier last week, a bonus episode on how to get what you want for Mother's Day. I hope some of you guys listened to it. I hope that it helped. I hope that it helped you have a great Mother's Day and that it wasn't disappointing. I actually spoke in church yesterday. In our church, in our congregation, they have members of the congregation take turns speaking. And so a couple weeks ago, the leader of our congregation, he asked if I would speak on Mother's Day, and I did. And my kids sang as part of like all of the little kids under the age of 12, the primary kids, they all sang a song, and it was beautiful. And also my twin sister Christy spoke. So it was a really fun day to have that. And then my husband made dinner with my brother-in-law and my best friend's husband, and it was just wonderful to hang out and be with all of the people that I love. And I hope you guys had a great day too. I wanted to catch you guys up. Today I'm going to talk about something that I got a message from by a follower on Instagram, but I did want to run a few things of the calendar by you guys because I was remembering last night, I was thinking of all the things that I have coming up, and I wanted to make sure that you guys know about them. So the first thing is that next Monday, the 22nd, I am doing a free call, and I want to invite you to come. You can go to my website, jolenewynn.com. You can go to the Coach Week tab. You will see where you can register. This is a free call. It is called Finding Peace When Your Husband is Untrustworthy. That is what I'm going to be talking about. So if you are curious about coaching, if you don't know at all what it's like or how it's different from the podcast, this is a free call. I would love for you guys to come. It is next Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern, and I am going to be teaching how you can find inner peace even when the circumstances in your life are difficult, even when your husband is untrustworthy. How do you even, when you're struggling to get through your day, how do you reconcile that? How do you navigate that so that there's an internal peace even if your circumstances are difficult? So if that resonates with you, or even if you just want to come anonymously, you totally can. Okay, so again, you go to jolenewynn.com, go to the Coach Week tab, you will see where you can register for that. And again, it's totally free. So I hope to see you there. The other thing that I wanted to let you guys know is that pretty soon in June, you will be able to start registering for my in-person retreat. Last year, I did my very first in-person retreat in Nashville, Tennessee. It was amazing. It was a 3-day in-person coaching intensive, and it was the best thing I have ever done. I have never been so proud of the women that I work with and those who showed up. I had clients, I had women come who weren't clients who then joined. I had women that came and haven't become clients yet, but were clients in that retreat. And I just wanted to make that available to y'all. So in June, so in just a few weeks, I'm going to be opening that up to non-clients. It is open right now to my clients. They are able to register, and there are only 14 spots. So several of them have been taken already. So if you guys know that you want to come to this in-person retreat, then I want to encourage you to mark your calendars and get on my email list so that you are the first to be aware of when that goes live, when you can register, when you can sign up. Okay. So this year we are not doing it in Nashville. This year we're going to the beach in North Carolina. I cannot wait. We have this beautiful house that my friends just redid. They just built it. It is a brand new house, and there's going to be 14 of us. You will be able to, we're going to do 3 days of in-person coaching. You are going to be able to get one-on-one attention from me, probably more than you ever wanted. And you are also going to be able to be there with these other women. And this is something that's so fascinating that my twin sister Christy keeps saying. She was there last time. She came as my emotional support animal / party planner. So she was the one that made sure that there was enough toilet paper and water, and she kept everything running smoothly, and it was amazing. And she's coming again. And she just kept repeating, and I've heard her say it so many times to other people, about how incredible it was to be in this group of women, and how you would think it would be really depressing, but it was actually so uplifting. And that this group of women who come to these events are so powerful and so inspiring because they're all working on themselves. Nobody is there to husband bash. Nobody is there to say, woe is me. Everyone is there to say, I'm struggling. I want help working through this so that I can have the life that I deserve. And that's what I want for you. And if you feel like that resonates with you, then I want to encourage you to watch out for that. Again, get on my email list or become a client, because then you'll be able to sign up right away. And then you'll be able to come with us in October. So the dates for that are October 19th to the 22nd. It's a Thursday to a Sunday. We are going to be spending 3 very intense days coaching, and we're going to have a lot of fun. And I cannot wait to see you there. Last year, one of the things, kind of the theme that I taught about was if you feel like you're not enough, and how to have a transformational relationship within yourself. And this year, I want to kind of continue that, but take it a little bit deeper. And we're going to talk about how to redefine yourself. So if you find yourself believing things about yourself that you don't like, that you don't want to keep, and you want to change those, maybe you believe that you're not good enough. Maybe you believe that you're ugly. Maybe you believe that you're not worth it, or that you don't deserve things. If you believe anything negative about yourself and you don't want to believe that anymore, then I want to encourage you to sign up and come with us, because I am going to work with you and teach you how to change that. And we are going to create a brand new version of you. We're going to decide it on purpose, and I'm going to teach you how to transform into the person that you want to become. And I cannot wait to see who of these 14 women, who it's all going to be. Again, several of those spots have already been taken by my clients, but I am very excited to see who it's going to be for. So if you feel like this resonates with you, mark your calendars, set some money aside. It's going to be $1,800. And sorry, I don't know why I paused at that. It's $1,800 for the whole thing, for the expenses there. You will have to travel there. And again, I'll get more details out, but get on my website, mark your calendars, start saving your money. And I can't wait to see you there. All right, ladies, today I want to talk to you guys about something that came up. A sweet lady who follows me on Instagram. She messaged me and she said that she has been working with her husband for several years, and he just relapsed after 8 years. And she said, I was wondering if you could lead me to a couple podcast episodes on what am I supposed to do now, right? How am I supposed to start working through this? And I gave her a whole list. So if you guys wait till the end of this episode, I'm going to list a whole bunch of other podcast episodes that could be helpful. But I wanted to do this today of what do you do when you just found out, whether that is initially, whether you just found out that your husband's watching porn and you had no idea, or maybe you just found out about a relapse, or maybe you just found out a detail that you didn't know before. How do you handle it? How do you keep going when it feels very overwhelming? Okay, that's what I'm going to talk about today. I'm going to give you guys some tips on what to do and what not to do so that you can start moving forward in a healthy direction. Does that make sense? So the first thing that I want to offer is that you create some space for yourself. This could look emotionally. It could also look physically. One of the things that happens for me over the last couple of months, my husband and I have been working through a lot, okay? It has brought up a lot of emotion. I have found out a lot of stuff, okay? And one of the things that I have made sure to do is create space for myself physically, to take care of myself physically. Because as you guys know, our emotions, or as you might know by now, our emotions have a physical sensation in our body. There is a physical response, right? Emotions create a physical vibration. So when you are experiencing a lot of emotion, then it takes a toll on your body. You often feel more physically fatigued, right? When you're emotionally fatigued, you often feel more physically fatigued. So one of the best things that you can do is take care of yourself physically. One of the things that I like to do is take naps. Okay. Now this is tricky because this goes into the second thing that I want to talk about is you have to be able to release the self-judgment. Okay. One of the things that we do is that prevents us from healing in a healthy way is we have a lot of self-judgment about where we are. I hear this all the time when I was doing consultation calls. I would hear this all the time. Women would get on the phone and they say, I shouldn't feel this way. I shouldn't be this upset. I feel like I'm crazy. I'm probably just overreacting. All of that, ladies, is self-judgment, and we don't need any of it. Okay. I should be past this. It's been years. I should be over this. We've already been through this. None of that is necessary. I want you guys to just release the self-judgment, whether that's on what you're feeling or on what you're doing. If you need to take a nap, take a nap. If you need to take a bubble bath, lock the door and take a bubble bath and release the self-judgment and the guilt of turning on a show for your kids while you do so, right? Does this make sense? Just notice where your brain wants to judge yourself, because all that does is layer on emotions on top of what you're already feeling. So you just found out something about your husband, a detail, a relapse, maybe it's the initial find out. And what happens is our brain needs to process. Our brain doesn't want to process. Our body needs to process all the emotion that comes up. And our brain just wants to power through. And powering through is not a terrible strategy. It is something that keeps us alive a lot, which is great, okay? However, it's not good for the long term, because whatever we shove down just by powering through eventually comes back to the surface. So the more that you can process as it comes up, the better you're going to be in the long run. Does this make sense? Now, what I mean by that is what I want to offer instead of just powering through is you take the time, like I said, you create the space and lose the self-judgment and allow yourself to sit with the emotion. Okay. This is very tricky, especially if you've never done it before. We were actually talking to our little group of friends that were over for Mother's Day last night, and we were talking about this. And one of the people there, he said, I understand this theoretically, but I don't understand how you actually process emotions. And I said, yes. Okay. And I know that there are so many of you on this that listen to this podcast that feel that way. You're like, all right, Jolene, I have heard you enough to know that it's important to process my emotions, but I don't really know how to do that. Or one of the things that he brought up last night, my friend, is he said, I think I actually do this. One of the things that I like to do is I like to go for a run, or I like to work out, and it helps me I don't even have to think. I just process it. I just feel it enough. And one of the things that we brought up was, well, yeah, but then it comes back, right? And he was like, well, yes. Okay. That is not processing an emotion. That's letting off steam, which a lot of us do, some of us in very healthy ways and some of us in very unhealthy ways, like overeating or online shopping. And some of us do it by running or by crafting. I don't know, scrolling social media. Some of us, that's a distraction. But some of us try to process our emotions, and what we're really doing is letting off a little bit of steam, but it just keeps it simmering below the surface and eventually it pops back up. That is not processing emotion. Processing emotion, ladies, looks like sitting by yourself with nothing else around you and just paying attention to what's going on inside your body, the physical sensations of what the emotion feels like inside your body. And you'll know if you're doing it correctly if you've sat with it long enough that you've felt it, and then you actually literally feel a physical release. You actually feel lighter after having processed an emotion. This sounds crazy. This is like me trying to explain to you how to ride a bike. I can tell you all the live long day how to ride a bike, but until you start going and riding the bike yourself, you're never going to fully comprehend what it is that I'm talking about. You might even have an idea of it. You might even be able to kind of visualize it in your brain, but your muscles will not understand the concept until you do it yourself. That is what I want to encourage each one of you to do today. I want you to sit down by yourself. This is what I start with all my clients. I say, take 5 minutes at the end of the day, sit, lock yourself in a closet, close yourself off, turn off the light, and close your eyes. That's not magical. That's just to reduce distractions. Okay. Close your eyes and ask yourself what you feel. And your brain's going to say all the things. This is stupid. I don't want to do this. I can't do it. This doesn't make any sense. Jolene's an idiot. It's going to want to say all the things, and it's totally fine. You just let the thoughts go and you focus back on what it is that you feel and where you feel it. Okay. And when you focus on that and you allow your body to feel, rather than trying to talk yourself out of it or convince yourself that you shouldn't or judge yourself for how you feel, when you actually allow yourself to feel, that is when you're able to start moving forward, because what you're doing is you're actually releasing yourself from the physical, emotional baggage that you are holding on to. Now, if you don't do this in the moment, then what ends up happening is we create emotional baggage for ourselves. We can end up carrying around emotional baggage from the past, from things that have already happened, and we just take it with us, and that's what comes up again in the moment, right? So you find out, you think you're doing well, your husband's been struggling with this for a while, but you feel like you're kind of on the upswing, and then he relapses, and boom, all of those same thoughts, all of those old thoughts, all the old insecurities, all of the old fears, all of the old doubt, all the old judgment, all the distrust, it all comes flooding back to the surface. All that means is that there's an indication right there that there's some unprocessed emotion. That's it. It just means you have some thoughts that created some feelings, and you didn't really work through it yet. Okay, so when you are in it, when you just found out something, it's really important to create the space and release the judgment so that you can sit down and process your feelings. Okay. And again, don't judge yourself for this, especially those of you who've been going through this for a while. It's very tempting. I hear my clients say this. I hear followers say this all the time on calls. I just feel like I should be over this already. This shouldn't be coming back up. I've been listening to this podcast. I should be past this. I already know what I'm supposed to be doing. I shouldn't feel this anymore. Let me tell you something, ladies. My husband and I have been working through some stuff, okay? Just this morning, we had a conversation. And you don't want to know what I felt? I felt defeated. It's partly why I didn't record this podcast episode last night. It's because I felt defeated and I was not in the mood to record a podcast. I was like, that will be the most depressing podcast episode ever if I just sit and record a podcast while I'm feeling defeated. So instead, I have just sat and allowed myself to feel what that feels like. I have allowed myself to sit with that emotion in my body, and it feels heavy. And it sits kind of like a rock in the bottom of my stomach, almost deeper than my stomach. It almost feels like I turn into a bottomless cavern, and it's just resting there. And that's what I've just allowed it to do. But if I don't give myself space to feel it now, all that's going to happen is I will bury it and I will power through, and it will come up later, probably along with a lot of ripple effects that are a result of me trying to cover it up, right? It'll come out in resentment. It'll come out in the way that I talk to my kids. It'll come out in fatigue because my body is so tired from spending so much energy trying to just power through and ignore this emotion that it doesn't have its normal reserve to give for how I want to actually live my life. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? You guys know this? When you are feeling a lot of emotion, when we feel emotional overwhelm, one of the things that happens is we get very physically fatigued, especially when we aren't actually allowing ourselves to process the emotion. Now, I'm not going to go into that. I was going to take a tangent and I'm not. Okay, I'm going to stay on track. Okay. So when you find out whatever it is that you find out about your husband or whatever it is in your life, okay, then I want to offer that I cannot stress the importance of processing your emotion. Now, if you don't know how to do that, I can teach you. You can come coach with me and I will help you do it. This is one of the things that I spend the majority of my time doing in our coaching program. This is actually, I have a one-on-one call that I do with each new client and the whole purpose of this call is to help you become the expert on processing your emotion so that you know how to do it. You feel solid in that skill because it is a skill that you can learn. Okay, it's not a personality trait or genetic trait that you're just born with or not. Everyone can learn this skill. It's just that no one's ever taught you before. And I can explain it to you theoretically as much as I possibly can on this podcast. But until you start seeing what it feels like, that's when the transformation happens. That's when it clicks. That's when you start making your progress. It starts from going just regular and incremental to exponential is when you start learning how to process your emotions, because that's when you're able to release the baggage from the past and stop letting it determine your future. And if that sounds like something you want and you don't know how to do it, then come coach with me and I will teach you. Okay. Now, the last thing that I want to offer today is when you find out, one of the best things that you can do is talk about it. This is the number one thing that I say. When people ask me, what is it that I'm supposed to do if I just found out? What is your number one piece of advice for women that just found out their husbands are watching porn? And I say, and you've probably heard me say it a million times, you should be talking to 3 people. I know how hard it is. I know that it's difficult. You should be talking to 3 people. The first person is your husband. He's probably not going to want to talk about it. That's okay. That's all right if he doesn't. He's going through a lot. He's feeling a lot of things. It might require a mediator. It might require a counselor or a therapist that you guys go to together. Okay. And I'm not saying that you need to know all the details right away, but you should start talking about it because the longer you wait, the harder it's going to be. Okay. The second person you should be talking to is a friend. One person. And this person does not need to know all the details. You can just say, you know what? My husband and I are going through some stuff right now. And I just need to be able to call you on that when I'm having a bad day. I just need to be able to send one person a text that says today sucks. That's it. That's all I need. Okay. Whatever it is that you want to divulge, that's entirely up to you. I have had clients who decide together who that person is for the wife. You can decide that. You can make this decision yourself. You don't even have to tell him. It's entirely up to you. You can decide how much you want to tell him. Tell your friend. Okay. But you should have one person who is aware of you. You do not have to go through this alone. And then the third person that you should be talking to is a professional. I would love it if it were me. I would be honored. I know that I can help you and I have all the tools that I can teach you so that you can work through this. But if it's not me, go find somebody that resonates with you. One of the biggest mistakes that I see women make when they just find out something is they don't say anything and they use money as an excuse not to get help. Ladies, I'm calling all of you out. If it's not me, you don't want to spend money on my coaching program, I don't care. Go find someone else. Find someone cheaper. Find someone on your insurance. Make sure you like them. I promise I'm the very best one, but if you want to go to someone else, that's fine. But stop using money as a reason that you are not willing to heal. Because this is the very most important thing that you could possibly spend your money on is yourself, your emotional health, and your marriage. Ladies, at the end of the day, when you have lived and been married for 40 years, are you going to be more grateful that you healed and have a good relationship or that you have $50,000 in savings? I'm just pulling that money out of nowhere. Okay. Do you know what I'm saying? There are so many things that we think at the moment, there's no way I can afford this. I just have to power through. I don't have the money for this. This isn't something that he would ever want to pay for. I don't care, ladies. The most important, your life is because of who you are. And if you are not in a good place, it doesn't matter how much money is in your bank account. It's not going to matter. It's not going to matter if you have more money in your bank account if you and your husband aren't even speaking, or you can't overcome your triggers every time you go to the beach, or you hate looking in the mirror, or you hate how you feel about yourself, or you can't figure out how your husband loves you and also watches porn, and you don't even want to see him, you don't even want to look at him, and you don't even want to be around him, and every time he tries to hold your hand, you cringe inwardly. Ladies, there is not enough money in the world to make that worth it. I promise you. I did it for 10 years by myself, and it is not what I recommend for you. If you just found out something about your husband, start talking to those 3 people. Learn from my mistakes. I did it all wrong, ladies, and I'm telling you, you don't have to do it that way. If you want help, I would love to be the one that helps you. Absolutely. I know I could help you. I have helped hundreds of women, and I have helped myself, and that's how I know how to do it. I've had so many clients that went to counseling or therapy first because it was cheaper, and then they come back to me because I know what it's like. And I have also created an incredibly powerful group of women that can support you. I even just had a client just the other day. This was such a beautiful thing to me. She posted, we have a messaging group, and that enables me to communicate with all of my clients, and then they can get one-on-one coaching just by shooting me a message at any time. But they can also talk to each other. And I know many of them have developed really close friendships just through private communication, but sometimes they'll put out like a request. And I had a client the other day who posted in our group, and she said, I want to read this to you. She said, "Ladies, can I have you send prayers my way? I'm going to set a big boundary with my family tonight, and I am nervous and I need all the love. I know this is what needs to happen, so I just need to take this step. I love you guys, and I'm always thinking of you." And the comments and the love that she got back were just so beautiful and astounding. Ladies, being the wife of a porn addict can feel very, very isolating. It can feel lonely. It can feel like your world is crashing in on you. You can feel very defeated at times. And what I want to offer is that you don't have to do this alone. The burden that you're carrying whenever you find something out feels a whole lot heavier than it has to, because you're trying to carry it all by yourself. Okay? And what I want to offer is that you don't have to do that anymore. There is an incredible group of women who don't husband bash, who don't sit and have a pity party. These are not women who don't want help. These are women who want to move forward. It is the most powerful, inspiring group of women, and I am so proud to have created an opportunity for these women to come together. I take no credit. Can I just tell you? I take no credit for the women that are in my coaching program. I think they're all amazing. And I feel like all I did was create the space for them to come. So if that's what you want, then I want to invite you to come join us, because there is something so powerful about this group of women working together and improving themselves. There is nothing more powerful than that. And when nothing else, when you know that you're not alone, that is so powerful for your brain to believe that it's possible, that this isn't the end, that this isn't what your life is going to look like forever. And I want to encourage all of the thousands of women that I have listening every single week to this podcast to know that you're not by yourself. And if you want to see that in a more powerful way and believe it and see it transform your life, then I want to encourage you to come coach with me, join my coaching program, and I will help you do it. And all of these women will be with you every step of the way. Ladies, I want to give you that list of all the podcast episodes that I gave to this sweet follower, and you guys can go back and listen to them, okay? Some of them have numbers and some of them don't, because some of them were from a long time ago before I put the number of the podcast episode in the title. So I'm just going to list them here, okay? There's an episode that I did. It's called Your Feelings Are Valid. Okay, it's one of the first ones. Another one is called Layering Emotions. And you can just go to the Porn Addict's Wife, the podcast app on your phone, and you can search these, just look for the titles, okay? Accepting Pain. Okay. Another one is Emotional Overwhelm. Another one is episode 95, Betrayal. Episode 96, Healing with Ease. Episode 136, Peace in Adversity. And episode 153, Acute Pain. Okay? Those are all episodes that I just found, and by going through the podcast, ladies, I know there's a lot of podcast episodes. There's like over 180 at this point. There's a lot, okay? So those ones are just ones that I think could help you. So if you're going through something right now, if you just found out a lot, go listen to all of those podcast episodes and more, whichever ones work for you. And then I would encourage you to go sit with all those things that I told you today. Create some space. Take care of yourself physically. Stop judging yourself for what you're feeling and what you're doing. Start processing your emotions and start talking to 3 people. Is it going to be scary? Yes. But the only way that you stay stuck is if you refuse to take action that changes your situation. Okay? If you start taking action, that is when things change. And that's what I want for you. Okay? I love you ladies so much. Thank you for joining me today. I'll see you guys next week on a brand new episode. So take care. Hello, my lady. I wrote a book and I would love for you to read it. It's called The Not Enough Wife, and you can get it on Amazon today. This book is for any woman who has ever felt like she wasn't enough, not enough as a wife or as a mom, if she didn't have Instagram-worthy enough pictures, if she didn't throw Pinterest-worthy parties, if she ever felt like she was not enough, this is the book for her, and it's for you too. So go to Amazon today, go search up The Not Enough Wife by Jolene Wynn, and grab a copy for yourself and for all the women in your life. I hope you love it, and I can't wait to hear what you think.